Today, I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favorite glute exercises on the Pilates reformer. Now, these exercises not only target the glutes. It's really hard in Pilates to only target certain muscles and exclude others. You're going to feel these in other parts of your body. And of course, these are not the only exercises that target and adequately work the glutes. And I'm starting off my workout today with some footwork to really warm up the lower body and prepare myself for my practice. I'm starting out here with the bottom lift, and while the main muscular focus of the bottom lift is for the abdominal muscles and the hamstrings, and it's more about developing spinal articulation and hip extensor control, I find that this overall strength and working in this way is good for me overall with the glutes. Some variations that I'll do later on will actually help me feel this more in the glutes, but this nice rolling, articulating motion through the spine, and of course going into right here, the bottom lift with extension has me working in that way where I have to think about strong core and strong glutes at the same time. Next, I'm taking my feet into a wide V position where I roll up into this bottom lift from here and take extension with it, which has you feeling it in different areas. Now, rather than rolling up the entire way into that bottom lift, I'm just kind of lifting the glutes off of the reformer and pressing out and returning here. Next, things are getting really spicy by going into a single leg bottom lift. And of course, and sometimes unfortunately, what we do to one side, we must do to the other. Next, I'm moving into some scooters. This is more of a full body integration movement where we're really focusing on hip and knee extensors. So I actually don't want to recruit the glutes too extensively in this, but this movement feels good for what I'm going to go on and do later. Next, I'm really getting into the gluteus medius muscles with skating exercises. I've got one medium and one light spring on for this. So I'm starting out skating with my outside leg pressing out, and then I'm switching to the inside leg. and throwing in some double leg skating, which is really making this burn right now. Now I'm moving into some weighted middle splits where, unlike the full middle split, I'm not trying to stretch out into that full length here. I'm just pressing away that heavier weight. And I'm going to give myself a little stretch before I switch to the other side. No one wants an uneven butt, so of course I've got to take my skating exercises on the other side. Outside leg, inside leg, double leg skating, and weighted middle splits. And a deep lunge stretch on both sides following that second leg. Now I'm grabbing my long box and switching to one light spring so that I can focus a single leg in the straps for these sweeping arabesques, kneeling on the long box. Switching things up a bit to go from a kneeling bent knee and pressing straight back rather than that big sweeping motion into arabesque. Now I'm coming to a side seated position and sweeping the leg off to the side. It's a little bit of an awkward position to be in, but you can really target certain areas here. And of course, what you do to one side, you must do to the other, so I'm switching sides. Still with one light spring, I am moving into this side leg series. There are a few things that fire up my glutes, like working side leg lying on the reformer. I'm starting out with up, down, externally rotated through that leg. Then I'm going into circles, sweeping to the front, lifting up and down. And switching directions. This is such a good motion because I feel my glutes fired up, my hips are also working, and it's a great stretch as well. I really prefer to work my glutes from a place of mobility. I'm next lifting up my bar and moving into a stretch that I really like to do that feels surprisingly good for my glutes. It's just to sit cross-legged and push out and away. You can do this on the mat, but it feels really nice to lift up the bar in the reformer and to be able to slide back and forth into this stretch. And then you're going to want to switch legs. So everybody's got their dominant side that they sit cross-legged, then you're gonna switch sides and put the opposite leg on top. Now we're gonna put the foot bar down, place on one heavy and one light spring, and we're lying back to come into feet and straps. Starting out with frog. And next moving into the opening. When you're targeting the glutes or any area in the lower body, it's really important to still have a well-rounded workout. So for instance, doing this feet and strap hip work is really great when you've been working that glute area. You want to keep everything nice and mobile. Next, I'm moving into the long stretch for some spinal articulation, as well as working the abdominals and the hamstrings in particular. Now, keeping the feet parallel, I'm taking down, up. Following any kind of glute work, or really any kind of Pilates work, I love to end with hip circles, whether that's on the reformer or the springboard. I take them in both directions and they feel incredible and make me feel even and balanced on both sides. And I am just wrapping up my workout here. Thanks so much for joining me and coming along for this specific reformer workout where I'm wanting to do several exercises, really focusing on the glutes while working other parts of the body as well, but instead of being very well-rounded as most Pilates practices tend to be with total body, this has just been more focused and using exercises that I particularly like for the glutes. If you are interested in taking some online reformer classes with me, you can join me in my online studio on Patreon. All that information is in the write-up below. And of course, you can join me here on YouTube for more Pilates on the reformer, on the mat, and on various apparatus. I'll see you guys next time in the studio.